They want to eliminate what they call the deep state. The deep state is a cadre of professionals dedicated to honoring the Constitution, the laws of this country, and carrying out the policies of the Congress and the President. The deep state dedicated to carrying out the policies of the President. The deep state dedicated to carrying out the policies of the President.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It is Sunday Night Live, and we're live at the Zoo. We've got all of YouTube. We've got all of the preparedmind.club and all of subscribestar.com. We're all here. We can be here live. It's open to everyone. You can participate in the comments section if you're a subscriber and you've met the 20-minute or 30-minute cutoff. You can share your ideas down below. Or if you want to get really crazy, you hit that super chat button right up there. Right up there. And you put in your question. It'll come right here on screen. And your donation goes into the GTFB and SB fund, right? They get the fuck back, right? No hanging out at the RMZ. No playing games in the jungle. No cruising. It is time to get ready, folks. We've got some shit coming. Serious shit coming. It is a mess what they're doing to this country. And we're about to have, we're about to have things get far worse. We're going to have, looks like a repeat of 2020. It is coming. And one last thing, for those of you so inclined, and there's a few of you out there, got this bottle of 18-year Glenlivet. You do a $50 or more donation, and you buy me a drink from that bottle, and that's a mighty tasty thing. But I've got a lot of stuff I want to talk about on this show. And I've got some, shall we say, it's not really insider news, but it is very important information. It comes from someone who's working on the inside, even though the public has gotten a taste of it. Now, I reported last week, we discussed, I'm going to go into some of my details while waiting for everyone to get here into the room. But I want to start right off the bat with with something that is coming. It's here. It started. It's going to get nasty. Remember when I reported that an Antifa member was shot and killed because he allegedly fired at police? And several more, either 5, 6 more Antifa members were arrested participating in whatever the fuck it was they were doing. So that was last week. Well, over the weekend, guess what? That's right. Antifa wanted to revenge riot. Yeah, Antifa shoots at cops. Then one of them gets killed for it. So they have a revenge riot in Atlanta, Georgia, folks. It erupted. Antifa militants destroyed businesses. They lit a cop car on fire, right? Unbelievable. Unbelievable, folks. They're going to burn everything down because one of their complete screwball miscreants decided to violate the law. Well, they just can't have that now, can they? No, no, no. We can't have that. Oh, one of their fellow comrades. That's an appropriate name for the little communists. Now, in addition to that, right? Not only have they had a week-long riot, we got a little bit of deja vu. A local reporter called the riots as a police car went up in flames in the background. A largely peaceful protest. Really. While with a fucking cop car being ignited in the background. That's what largely peaceful, mostly peaceful, deja vu. And guess what's coming in the follow-up, folks? Right? A lot of boxing terminology. You got a 1-2 punch, right? You got the 1 loosens them up and 2 puts them down. We got a 1-2 punch coming. Guess what? A friend of mine who's involved in, shall we say, law enforcement and security in Vegas, let me know that there's going to be a video released Monday or Tuesday, probably Monday, of a horrific beating that took place at the hands of 5 police officers. Apparently 5 black police officers beat the ever-loving shit out of a black suspect, bad guy, baddie, criminal. And it's supposedly, I haven't seen the footage. I just want to give you a heads up. Supposedly it makes the Rodney King beating look like child's play. It's bad, bad, bad. So expect BLM to be out there. Expect BLM. I think the guy is not dead, though, but it's just a horrific beating. So we'll see. Nationwide, law enforcement officers and their organizations are being told, hey, be prepared. Sounds familiar, right? Be prepared. That's right. They want the summer of love. And they want to kick it off, hell, before it's even springtime. Unfreaking believable. So, I started off with my stuff, and Darcy T checks in with her $50 super chat donation. And she has this to say. Good evening, Georgia Governor Brian Kemp and several other U.S. politicians, Semena, Coons, Manchin, Salazar, Sherrill, and Prickster, attended Davos this year. Davos, Switzerland, World Economic Forum, Davos douches, Illuminati, those guys. She goes on to say they were on a panel with Norwegian diplomat and World Economic Forum President Borge Brende. Kemp suggested that the Democrats and Republicans could work together to tackle big national problems such as crime. How much do you want to bet that they will soon be considering a national police force? That's a huge issue because it's the sheriffs that currently hold a lot of power at the local level. Thoughts? My thoughts on this. Number 1, we have a crime problem. Number 2, we have the instruments in place already. They're called sheriff's departments. And in the municipalities, the cities, we have police departments. And then in each state, they have their own state troopers, highway patrol, state police as well. There's absolutely no need for a federal police. In fact, there is no authority within the Constitution for such an organization. We already do have federal law enforcement called the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Funny how they don't investigate Biden's mishandling of documents, possession of documents that makes Biden a criminal. Why aren't they investigating that? Federal Bureau of Investigation. Folks, they use what's known as the long arm statute or the interstate commerce clause. That's what they use to be able to say, well, a federal crime has been committed when you cross the state line. Now the federal police can be involved. You see, there's just not the jurisdictional authority for them to have law enforcement in every state. And they already, of course, said we have federal law enforcement, we have the Department of Homeland Security, right? They're supposed to be monitoring the borders, and the federal government claims that the border control area is 100 miles off of the border, which is fucking ridiculous. They can't even manage the first 100 feet, much less 100 miles. But that's the jurisdictional area they claim they can work in. They've really pushed their luck with the American people. They just have. They really do. We have crime, and we have plenty of law enforcement already. Now, Brian Kemp, who's the governor of Georgia, maybe he ought to look to what's happening in Atlanta right now. While he's over there sucking up everything he can, I'm sure donation-wise and anything else he can get in his mouth, Brian Kemp should be dealing with his problems in his state, not sucking up to a bunch of rich fuckheads. Now, Ximena, she was the other senator who joined Senator Manchin in not wanting to go on board with the Democrat programs earlier. That was about, a year ago, 9 months ago? And then you got Coons, Salazar, Sherrill, Prickster, a bunch of Democrats. Interesting that Brian Kemp joined Democrats in Davos. No, John Kerry was there. Al Gore was there. Don't worry, plenty of Democrats, but there's Republicans too. Brian Kemp wasn't the only one. But it's incredible. Now, what did we have? And I'm still addressing Darcy's comments and questions. And I want to thank Darcy again for always being first in line to support this channel on Sunday Night Live. If you recall, it's worse than I think a national police or a federal police force, Darcy. If you recall, all of the problem that Governor Prickster was having with Illinois, specifically in the city of Chicago, which is run by Lori Beetlejuice Larry Lightfoot, but they suggested that they needed the United Nations there in Chicago to deal with the criminal problems. Fascinating how they can't take care of their own issue. They want to bring in, extra jurisdictional law enforcement. It's just not needed. We already have the laws. Let's see, if you're hurting someone else, stealing their property, destroying their property, threatening lives, that's criminal behavior. We already have all of the crimes all lined out. This country has had 240 years to figure out what a crime is. So they've got those laws. We've had 240 years to put law enforcement in place. Let's see, So you got constables and sheriffs and police departments and state troopers. We got all we need there. In case of emergency, we got the National Guard. We got that covered. Case of invasion, right? We're good there. We got the Marine Corps, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force. We got the Space Force in case something comes at us from above. We got it covered. What we need is political willingness to actually do their fucking jobs that they've already sworn an oath to. Right? They put their hand on the Bible, swore an oath, we thought, to uphold the law, right? To protect the people against all enemies, foreign and blah, 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 blah. What we're dealing with is a bunch of people letting things go to shit. So then they can claim, we just need more help. We need more help. How about this? Literally, folks, literally. The Democrat House Whip, right? She's a congresswoman, Catherine Clark. Her son was arrested for assaulting police during an Antifa protest. Right, you have to have the willingness. They allow criminal behavior, the Democrats. Look at what happened in 2020. In fact, Kamala Harris arranged for the bail, the freedom, folks, free people out of jail and let them go right back out and commit more crimes during the Summer of Love, when Antifa and BLM protesters caused over $4 billion in damage in this country, ruining people's lives, murdering them literally, committing arson, theft, looting, all manner and all act of sabotage, attempted arson of courthouses, fire stations, police stations, everything, every fucking thing. And now we have the Democrat minority whip. Her son has been arrested. Something about trees and bad fruit and the fruit not falling far from the tree. We know who the Democrats are and their little allies in the Republican Party that we point out as rhinos. We have lots of that, folks. Lots of that. These people, that their own families are involved in this. Unfucking believable. We're at 300 people live right now. We need to hit 500. So I've got my ticker up here showing me what's going on. Send a email, send a text message, send carrier pigeons to friends, family, loved ones, coworkers, and tell them, come and watch this show. You're not going to believe the shit they're talking about. Oh, yeah. Absolutely crazy what is happening out there, folks. And we have just scratched the surface talking about this Antifa, soon to be joined by BLM madness going on in Atlanta, soon to be coming to cities near you. Are you prepared? If they knock out the power, yeah, they know. Shoot power substations. They know how to shut down bridges. They know how to shut down freeways. They know how to come into your neighborhood and terrorize you, film you, and have you arrested for attempting to protect yourself and harassing them and their right to destroy everything called free speech. Well, really, they believe that their free speech includes destroying shit. Never forget, folks, the media, the politicians, the prosecutors, the lawyers, and even the police are on the side of these fucking scumbags. You bet. Now, here's one of the scumbags right here. Do you remember when the Soros-backed Florida prosecutor, DeSantis, said, hey, you're out of here. You're done. You're fired. You won't do your job. You won't enforce the law. You won't prosecute criminals. And so DeSantis fired his dumbass. Well, guess what, folks? That's what your governor needs to be like. That's what your mayor needs to be like. We need to fire these fucking people and throw them out of office if they're going to be scumbags. Well, at least there's one good governor in this country, Governor DeSantis. By the way, this little communist, socialist piece of shit was whining and sniveling because he lost his job and then he went to court and he lost there too. You don't get to keep your job if you don't do your job. Thank God we have some politicians trying to stand up and make a difference. While others, turn their little babies loose on the street and assault police, these little Antifa turds. Unbelievable. Hit that super chat button. Give me your question and I'll make you famous. We'll put it on the screen here. Well, speaking of these ding-dongs on the left, I saw this and I thought, what the fuck is this about? Nancy Pelosi's daughter is claiming that Nancy performed an exorcism over her San Francisco mansion to banish the evil spirits after her husband was attacked with a hammer. Really? Nancy performed an exorcism? She's a priest. She's a member of the clergy. She's a holy person. Well, I mean, I'm sure she had maybe not holy water, but I'm sure she had plenty of alcohol. Performed an exorcism. Well, the church denies that there was any exorcism. So why would Nancy lie? Why would Nancy's daughter lie? Why would the media give a shit? And are we supposed to believe that evil spirits in Nancy's house can be scared away by Nancy, who's drunk off her ass on whatever spirit she's been drinking? Unbelievable. Why does her house need to be exorcised anyways? What evil spirits are there besides her and her husband? They're just the craziness of it all, folks. The craziness of it all. These people, the Pelosi's and their mentality, They're running the country. Biden, let's see, Biden and his family, they act like mafia. They behave like mafia. They're organized like mafia. Are they mafia? Literally, are they, is it a fucking mafia crime syndicate with different families running things? Whether it's the Bush cartel or the Clinton cartel or now the Biden cartel, we had the Obama cartel. It's unbelievable, folks. Unfucking believable. You want to go a little further? Let's do this. You want unbelievable? I'll give you fucking unbelievable. And you better believe it, folks. They're covering up all of the deaths that are coming. This guy goes on TV. He's an urgent care doctor. He's a physician. He's a medical expert because someone let him on TV. Guess what he's warning of, folks? After the flu season, what comes next? Now, when I grew up, when flu season was done, it's because, well, it's warming up. It's spring. No. This physician goes on TV and warns that after flu season is stroke season. Well, during flu season, they're giving away Moderna, they're giving away Pfizer, they're giving away AstraZeneca, they're giving away Johnson & Johnson. They're giving away all kinds of Jim Jones juice. So I guess that, plus while you're there, you may as well get your flu shot. So by time we're done with flu season, we'll be ready for stroke season. There has never been a stroke season. This guy says there's a stroke season. Well, what season is heart attack season? What season is seizure season? What season is diabetes season? Now there's fucking seasons. Yeah, folks, stroke season. Unbelievable that a doctor, went to school, can say something that fucking stupid. Well, they need to cover it up. They need to hide it. They need to convince people and program them. Yeah, I heard it on TV. We got stroke seasons now. Crazy. All right, folks, we're here for 2 hours on Sunday Night Live. 2 hours. It will not be enough time to go over everything. Will not be enough time, but we'll do all we can. We really will, right? So you've heard of stroke season. Yeah, just now. You've now learned about it. What about heart attack season? Could it be already heart attack season? Yes, indeed. Take a wild guess at this one. While in front of his class, a teacher, a middle school teacher and coach, 35-year-old man, drops fucking dead right in front of them. Heart attack. Done. 35-year-old middle school coach and teacher. Heart attack. Must be heart attack season because we've been hearing an awful lot about heart attacks lately. Have we not? That's how bad things are, folks. Get this. I mean, are they this stupid? What do you want? Do you want exorcism? Stroke season? How about this? The Biden White House monkeypox response coordinator. Did you know that there's a cabinet level position for monkeypox response coordinator? Yeah, monkeypox, the disease for butt pirates and only butt pirates. This guy is urging all Americans to take the cerveza bug Jim Jones juice, the flu, and the monkeypox jab at the same time. Folks, if you didn't get enough fun with your Jim Jones juice, just add a little flu and then add some monkeypox, just in case. Unbelievable. Now, I've said that the extreme evil bastards, have I or have I not said, they will use their radical leftists, their LGB crowd, their radical racist crowd, their radical anti-political crowd, the anti-fascist group. They'll use all of these radical groups to push agendas that destroy America. And then, like all good, shall we say, socialist regimes, they end up killing off the people that helped get them the power in the first place. Right? The Soviets did it. The Russians back in the 20s and then the 30s, they killed off their own people, killed off half the officers. The chairman Mao of China. That's right. The chairman, he killed off all the people that he didn't need. Over 100 million people between Stalin, Lenin, Trotsky, Mao, and then, of course, Hitler. Over 100 million people killed. And they're all socialists, folks. It's just, are they social fascists or are they social communists? They're all socialists. So here we are. Hey, all of you fruitcakes, be sure and take all of your vaccines. They'll really make you feel good. Right? Look out for that heart attack season. Now, typically, folks, when it comes to flu season, you can take lots of vitamin C, take lots of zinc, take lots of vitamin D, right? Isn't that what we kind of heard about is, take your vitamins. Take your vitamins. It'll help you bolster your immune system. Is there a vitamin you can take to keep you from having a stroke? Is there a vitamin you can take that keeps you from having a heart attack? Is there any homeopathic remedies for the? No, there's nothing like that. Nothing like that. Unbelievable. No. Okay. This is just, there's too much going on. They think you're retarded. Biden thinks you're retarded. The Justice Department thinks you're retarded. FTX, folks. That's right. Sam Bankman-Fried, the guy that stole, $100 billion of investors' money. We still haven't gotten a real number out of them, by the way. It started out, folks, literally at like $5 to $10 billion. Not a huge deal. And then the numbers grew up. They're like, well, it's around $50 billion. And then they're like, wow, we just don't fucking know anymore. Anyways, FTX allegedly paid Bill Clinton $250,000 and then used him to dupe investors. I found this absolutely fucking hilarious. Slick Willie, Billy Boy, is now a victim. He was used. How's it feel, Bill? So what I'm guessing is that everybody who invested in FTX were Democrats. Because if Bill Clinton went to an investment that I was interested in, and I'd be like, Bill is involved in this investment scheme, I don't want a fucking thing to do with it. Because he's Bill Clinton. So yeah, I'm starting to believe that, largely Democrats. So Democrats are taking the Jim Jones juice and the juice boosters. Democrats are investing in Democrat schemes. Who is being used and who is being duped? Now, I do know that other investment firms, I don't know, name one. Bank of America, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley. Name a bank, a big bank in New York. They gather up everybody's money from everywhere and they just invest it across all lines of shit, including FTX. It's amazing how much money there is out there. When a fucking nerd, a millennial nerd, can steal $100 billion, live like a nerd king, and screw everyone over. Yeah, and now Bill Clinton's claiming to be a victim. That's just fucking hilarious. It truly is. And while we're on that story, folks, New York, the court in New York Is it the Southern District of New York, the SDNY? They are agreeing to keep the identities of Sam Bankman-Fried, his sureties, redacted. What does that mean? It means that the people who put up the bond and bail money for that clown, Sam Bankman-Fried, so he can go home and live in mama's basement while the trial happens, the court has agreed to keep their names protected. And guess what? The prosecutor there has agreed to this. Folks, this is a public crime. It's a crime committed against the public, the people, individuals and groups. And all this info needs to be public, as well as the trial itself. Now, if you want to change your name, guess what? It has to be published in a paper when you file the court papers. You want to get married, it shows up in the paper. You want to get divorced, it's a court action. It shows up in the newspaper by law. We have people throwing around millions of dollars trying to hide and protect somebody who pissed away billions of dollars and, of course, laundered it and gave it to rich people. And the judge wants to hide it. The prosecutor wants to hide it. Why? Who are the people hiding Sam Bankman-Fried? Now, if you remember, some regular old people crashed through the barricades and said, "You're not safe, pal." When it really comes down to it, folks, they're not safe. These rich, these powerful bastards really can't hide from us. All they can do is convince us we can't get to them, that we don't have a say in what's going on in our country. But truly, it is our country. Never forget, it's our country, and we are far more powerful. All they can do is bark really loud and intimidate us. That's all they've got. And so that's what they will do. All righty, let's do this. We've got a super chat donation. Let's see who wants to talk. And Jolene, who is it? It is $20 super chat donation from Chin Music. And he says, rumor has it, all the diddling, granola-eating dirt fuckers headed to Davos were requesting pure blood pilots. Wonder why? Take a wild guess, allegedly. Now, yeah, I reported on a similar story last week that the wealthy around the world, the super wealthy, if they own a private jet, they are trying to have their own private pilot and make sure that they are pure bloods, meaning no Jim Jones juice. That's right, no Jim Jones juice for them. And they don't want their pilots to have it either. Why is that? Well, take a wild fucking guess. They don't want their pilot having what? A fucking seizure, a stroke, or a heart attack while they're flying their extra rich assholes around. Yeah, and so I would say especially anyone who is attending Davos, right? The World Economic Forum at Davos, Switzerland. Everyone knows where Davos is. It's not a secret. It's not hard to get into Davos. We have reporters there on the ground asking hard questions and being assaulted and threatened by mainstream media as well as private security for daring to ask the questions. Davos and the World Economic Forum truly is the next version of Bilderberg. But they put it together kind of like a business forum where all the rich people, all of the super powerful elites, and all of the wannabe super powerful elites, they all get together and share their dreams of a new world order with one another and indeed the world. Unfucking believable. Right there, the crimes are there for all to see. Now, while we're on this topic, and thank you very much, Chin Music, let's just I'm going to carry this idea of the crimes are there for all to see. At Davos, they're complete criminals. All of them, because what do they want? They want to tear down cultures, laws, institutions, cultures, and countries. That in and of itself is a crime against every nation, and they should be prosecuted for such. So Do you remember this little funny thing about baby food? Remember the baby food shortage? Well, guess what? Abbott Labs, they are under criminal investigation because of the baby food formula crisis. They're under federal investigation. Last January, folks, the Food and Drug Administration, their inspectors found a bacteria that was living in the baby food. And this bacteria was living at the baby food plant. And they discovered this because babies who drank the company's formula, some of them became sick. And in fact, 2 babies died as a result of this formula. Now, Abbott is under investigation, right? Because some babies got sick and there were 2 deaths. Where the fuck is the investigation and prosecution of Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Plus all of the bureaucrats in the CDC, the FDA, the National Institutes of Health, and the current and former White House administrations, because more than just 2 people died, and more than just a handful have been sick from the Jim Jones juice and the juice boosters. They want to investigate a baby food company because some people got sick and 2 people died. Just the other day, just last week, I read a report about a baby, an infant, right, under 2 years old, was jacked up on the Jim Jones juice and died. Where's the investigation? Where's the FBI? Oh, yeah. The FDA, the CDC, they were complaining last week that they felt misled. They feel like they're being lied to. Really? You feel like you guys are being lied to? How the fuck do you think the rest of us feel? So instead of going after big pharmacy and big bureaucracy and big White House, folks, and I don't give a shit, any White House that supports Jim Jones juice, find out who said what, why, and what policies they enacted that have caused others pain and suffering and loss and death. Fuck them all. If you push that shit knowing what it is, and if you were lied to about it, who did the lying? Folks, you don't just lie to the government. You have to put in writing that what you are doing is true, right? Under penalty of perjury. I can't file fucking taxes without signing a document saying I'm telling you the truth. I can't get my driver's license without signing on the dotted line. Everything is true, right? Otherwise, I'm committing perjury, a crime. If you commit perjury and the results are death, then you've committed a very serious crime. It's more than just perjury. It is now perjury that has caused death. And fuck, do we have a lot of people dying from the Jim Jones juice. A lot of people being injured from the Jim Jones juice. A lot of people, what? Having their lives ruined. Seriously, ruined. So, let's do it. That's right. Sponsored by the Jim Jones juice. Take a wild freaking guess. I just told you about the 35-year-old teacher collapsed, bam, to the floor right in front of his little students at a middle school, 6th, 7th, 8th graders. Got to watch their teacher do the kicking chicken on the ground. Having a heart attack, right? Here's another one. Here. Take a wild guess. Fox News executive, age 47, suffers a heart attack. Never, folks, did we have so many people dying of fucking heart attacks. Teachers, executives, athletes, young, old, everywhere in between. Heart attack. Stroke. right? Billy Squire right now is just probably making $1 million a day if he got paid for every time someone said stroke, you know, because he's got the song The Stroke. I bet he wish he could get royalties on that. Unbelievable what is going on. And now I can't help it. I know we've got super chat donations that Jolene is hanging on to. I know you guys want to talk. You got other things to talk about, but I want to hammer this one right the fuck home all the way. And we'll move on and we'll talk about some other stuff. The world's falling apart. They're burning fucking cities again. It's going to get worse. Don't worry. It's going to get worse. Right? You guys have shit you want to talk about. I've got shit I want to talk about. It's Sunday Night Live. Now, guess who wants to talk about the Jim Jones juice? How about Elon Musk? Well. No need to guess here what the problem was, because Elon Musk, well, he talks about it himself. Now, what I can't believe is that he's fucking stupid enough to have taken it. But he admits and says, quote, I felt like I was dying, end quote, after taking his second mRNA Jim Jones juice. And guess what? Elon Musk's cousin developed a serious case of myocarditis, enlarged heart, right? The heart is struggling to work, so it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, trying to get the job done. Veins are pumped full of fucking clots and shit in them. The muscles aren't working right, so they have to get really big. Myocarditis, pericarditis. Why the hell would Elon Musk take mRNA? Why would he do it? Why would he take the Jim Jones juice? It just leads me to believe that there's a lot of people on this planet, even the most scientifically smart people like Elon Musk, the most daring business minds, aren't fucking smart enough to realize what the hell is going on. As my drill instructor, who I still remember very fondly and sometimes have nightmares about, used to say is, well, lo and behold, boys. He never called us ladies. It was always boys. There's no need to guess what caused it, because Elon Musk came out and said it felt like he was dying. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You know who agrees with him? Right? The creator of the comic strip Dilbert. Scott Adams is his name, and he says, hey, the anti-vaxxers clearly won. You're the winners. Well, it's fascinating to me. I didn't really need the creator of Dilbert to tell me that, because I know the odds of me getting sick, having neuromuscular problems, the odds of me, right, having a heart attack, a stroke, or pericarditis, or myocarditis, the odds of me having any of those because of the Jim Jones juice are zero, because I did not take the Jim Jones juice. For everyone else, guess what? You're playing a fucking crap game. Right? You're rolling the dice against something that doesn't even help. You imagine this? Imagine this. You're paying. Okay, let's do the dice thing. This is hilarious. I really want a drink of this fucking scotch. I tell you what, I can't have it out of that bottle. I'll have some of this, though. Just hold this fucking thought. Unbelievable. Semper Fi. Oh, mama. That is mother's milk. That's from another bottle. So, imagine this. You put your money on the table. Right? You take your money and you're betting. Then you put it on 40. Right? And then you take your dice and you roll them. And no matter what you do, you can never roll more than a 12. You'll never hit 40. Right? You can roll a combination of 2 dice, be anywhere between 2 and 12. You're never, ever going to roll a 40. You put your money hoping that you would get 40 and you never win. When you take the Jim Jones juice, it does not protect you from getting ill. It doesn't protect you from giving it to others. And it doesn't protect you from giving it again and again and again. Doesn't matter how many times you take it. Your immune system doesn't get better. In fact, it gets worse. Take all of your money, put it on 40, roll the fucking dice. You'll never win. The only thing you can get from it is bad news. Pericarditis, myocarditis, myocarditis, any of your carditises, heart attack, stroke, fucking seizures, blood clots. You can feel like Elon Musk, like you're dying. That's what you're going to get. Your immune system being trashed. Take a wild fucking guess. You'll never win the game, folks. Have I pushed that? Have I said enough on that? Holy shit. What are these fucking people thinking? Literally. Literally. Okay, now let's change gears. Before I get to my shit, let's see what Jolene wants to talk about. She just sent me a little message. Let's back off, John. We got Will Sevy with a $2 super chat donation. He says, lots of love from Idaho. Keep it up, man. And boy, I tell you what, I used to live really damn close to Idaho. And there's a lot of good people there. But sadly, Idaho is being overrun by liberals. Do your best, man. Maybe they'll have a hunting season, open season on liberals in Idaho. And I don't mean to hunt and kill them, folks. I would never suggest that. Basically, to just, like maybe a door knocker campaign. You can just go say, hey, we know you're a Democrat. We just wanted to let you know, hi, you're in Idaho now. I know Boise is just jam-packed full of these liberal fucks, and that other places, right, not so much. All right. Get this. Biden's attorney, Dana Remus. There's a name for you. Remus. She left the White House after the Republican senators found a second fake name email assigned to Joe Biden. Okay, when you're a member of the government, you are not allowed to have personal private email. You're not allowed to have email. Anything, any correspondence you have when you're the president and many other cabinet level positions, you're not allowed to have private email. No more. Everything is official. Everything you do. Well, apparently there was another one, right? A second pseudonym email. Secret documents, illegal email accounts. What's next, right? What dead bodies are out there that Attorney General Garlic Merrick ignores? Right? This is another one, right? And the attorneys are fleeing the ship. Democrats are fleeing the ship. News media personnel are turning on the Bidens. And what are the Bidens doing? Acting like a criminal syndicate. Not the R syndicate, the criminal syndicate that they are. That was clever, was it not? That's right, folks. They're crime after crime after crime after crime after crime. Guess what? Guess what photograph? Guess what photograph was on Hunter Biden's laptop? A picture of a box that said documents, like important documents. What important documents? Right? Picture of a box that says documents. I really think that Hunter Biden is selling his old man out, selling him down the river, selling him off. I think they want to get rid of this old fuck. There is a problem with the Biden cartel, the Biden regime, and even the World Economic Forum doesn't want him. Oh, there's battles going on, folks, right now, behind the scenes. Battle royale. Secret documents, secret email accounts. Lying, cheating, stealing, drugs, hookers. Oh, I tell you what, folks. I tell you what. It's incredible where we're at. Right? These Bidens are, right? Now, Biden dropped to one knee in front of Kamala Harris when he did a photo with the Golden State Warriors. I don't know if he knows what planet he's on. He's continuing to insult the American people, embarrassing America time and time again. What is wrong with these fucking people? Literally, what is wrong with these people, the Bidens? And the hits just keep on coming. For real. Right. This is, you want another one, right? There's a lot of old colloquialisms. I'm a man, not a mouse. Really? Right. Right. The elephant man, yelled out, I'm not an animal. Really? But we're being treated like them. We're being treated like children. Told where and when and who we can talk to and what we can say and where we can go. They're telling us how they're going to take away our car and they're going to take away our jobs and take away our lives and take away our heat. They're going to take away our food and we're going to be happy. The European Union has now authorized crickets for human consumption. It's no longer just certain countries and certain districts. It's no longer an experiment. It is now authorizing crickets. Folks, crickets are not for human consumption and human digestive systems. I'm wondering what the toxic buildup will be. Ask the experts, right? Ask the experts. What experts have you listened to that said, yeah, eating bugs is great. It's good for you. Folks, I say eat chickens instead. The chickens eat the pesky bugs and they turn it into human food. But they're pushing this. I mean, they're giving us mRNA injections. They lie right to our faces about everything. You see cop cars being set on fire and torched, and they're like, yeah, look at that peace. What a great peaceful protest. They lie to us coming and going. You will eat some bugs and be happy. They're authorizing now crickets for consumption. Unbelievable. Now, as everyone knows, one of the Diamond from Diamond and Silk died. That's these two black ladies who were very politically active. They were good buddies with the Trump administration, and they just used to call shit like they see it, right? Well, Diamond died. And Silk said she died suddenly in her kitchen. So I wonder, did Diamond take the Jim Jones juice? Because, Trump thought it was a great idea and didn't see anything wrong with it. I think he was lied to quite a bit. Anyways, Silk described her sister's sudden death. And she says, I want America to wake up and pay attention. Something ain't right. And I'll tell you what, sister, you ain't fucking kidding. Something isn't right. Feeding us bugs, unbelievable. Right? Open border. That's right, folks. Open border. Oh, there's no problem with that. Here we go again. A gang member, an illegal, raped and murdered a 20-year-old Maryland woman. Thanks, Biden. You're a great buddy of ours, aren't you? Are you pissed off? Are you awake? Are you prepared? Do you have food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan? Do you understand what's going on around us? You can be attacked on the street. You can be attacked by someone that you don't even suspect is a fruitcake because, well, they look just like you and I. These little Antifa creeps. Right? There is no one look that can come after you. It can be a skinny jean wearing, limp-wristed fruitcake. It can be some ghetto rat, name your color. It can be someone from south of the border. It can be anyone out there, folks. It can be a doctor holding a syringe against your neck. You don't know what's going on, right? It's unbelievable. The Justice Department may search other locations, right? Other Biden locations, because more documents, folks, more classified documents have turned up at the Wilmington, Delaware home. This guy has more documents show up at more places than Stormy Daniels has penises poking her in every orifice on her body. Literally, and that's a lot of penises, folks. Right? Stormy Daniels being the porn star who tried getting Donald Trump in trouble, ended up getting herself in more trouble, and her attorney ended up getting thrown in prison for fraud. That's a lot of penises. Anyways, yeah, they may search more Biden properties. How many properties does this fucking old cretin have? Between offices and schools and charities and homes and vacation homes and condos, and what was the one condo he was renting to his son? I mean, how much was his son? How much was Hunter paying to live in his dad's place every month? You remember that, Jolene? What was it? Ooh, man, do you remember what the number was? Anyone? Bueller, anyone? All right, you guys are asleep out there. It was $50,000 a month. $50,000 a month. Yeah, maybe that money wasn't directly being funneled from the Chi-Coms into Biden's accounts. Maybe they were funneled into, well, that's right, Hunter's accounts. Thank you, Mikey G. That's right. Hunter was paying his own father $50,000 a month. Sounds like some company there was making sure the big guy got his 10%. Unbelievable. So they may search. They got one little suggestion that Trump had secret documents. They fucking raided his house, his primary residence, and held it until they went through all of the drawers. That's right. All of the drawers. Yeah, including the panty drawers of the esteemed First Lady. I want to remind you, folks, power could go out at any time. Not because I'm afraid of a coronal mass ejection, even though that's possible. I'm more concerned about Antifa. If you think Antifa hasn't been paying attention to the substations being damaged by gunfire, well, another North Carolina substation has been damaged by gunfire. What does that mean to you? Well, Antifa now apparently has decided it's going to commit open war, at least in Atlanta, Georgia. They could knock out power in any city, folks. They could preemptively attack any of us, period, anywhere. Unbelievable. Are you prepared, folks? Are you awake? Do you know what's coming? Right? And don't think that because you're Hispanic or Asian or Black that you're safe. Because in Miami, a liberal white restaurant owner threw a Black man out of his restaurant because he was a conservative. He also happened to be a Fox News analyst, but being Black didn't save him. Being any race is not going to save you from being attacked. Period. These fruitcakes are everywhere. In fact, there are at least 10 dead and 10 injured over the weekend in Los Angeles because they had Chinese New Year. They had a Chinese New Year event. And guess what? A lot of people got shot up. So some leftist punk says it's white culture that caused this. Well, it turns out that it was an Asian man who has since turned up dead. in his vehicle. They're saying he is the shooter. So he's an Asian man who attended an Asian event and shot Asian people. And some leftist white punk says it's white culture that caused him to do this shooting. How the fuck do you figure that? How does that even begin to work? But it seems like these leftists, these screwballs, are the violent ones, are they not? They'll break into your house and put a hammer in your ass. You show up at a festival, they'll shoot you. Well, in New York, at least they're just good old-fashioned thugs. They beat the shit out of a Fox News meteorologist. I guess he thought he was sticking up for an old man on the subway. Some kids were picking on this old man. So this guy was like, hey, dude, stop it, man. So they said, well, we'll leave him alone. We're going to pick on you instead, dumbass. And they did. And they beat the ever-loving shit out of this guy. And I think it was at 1:30 in the morning. What the fuck are you doing at 1:30 in the morning on a New York subway? Literally, seriously. Who's that stupid? I don't know. Apparently this guy was. Just because you work for Fox News doesn't make you smart. And that, my friends, is the that's the proof. Now, the mainstream media, right? I just talked about two media personnel. Fox News dude who's black got kicked out of a white fruitcake liberals restaurant. You know, another white Fox News meteorologist, he gets the shit beat at him. They're in the news, right? The media is now part of the news. Well, ABC's Martha Raddatz, she says, the search of a sitting president's home dramatically escalates the political fallout. Thank you, Captain Obvious. The news is becoming the news. We need to be careful, folks. We need to be careful where all of this goes. Oh, unbelievable. Okay. Let's do another Super Chat donation, shall we? We have Will Savi with he's back with another donation, another $5 Super Chat donation. He says, can you talk to our friends about the importance of ham radio during a grid down situation? Yes, I will. Okay, grid down situation. Let's just say Antifa hits and coordinates. Remember, they're just an idea, according to Joe Biden. But let's just say they want to punish all of America for the fascist political pigs, the fascist pigs and police. And so they coordinate an attack. And let's just say they go to a tri-state area, a very large geographical region of the country. And they start shooting substations everywhere like they did in North Carolina. And they take out several states. Well, the power is out in several states. How are you going to get news? You're not going to get fuel, gasoline, diesel, because fuel stations will be down, except for a very few that just happen to have generators. The rest, no dice. So any of the ones that have fuel, there'll be lines lined up for 20 fucking miles, people trying to get that fuel. You'll never get any. Your refrigerators, look out. How long can frozen food stay frozen? Lots of questions there. You're going to have a lot going on in your head. Because if you don't have power, guess who else doesn't have power? That's right, the hospitals, the firemen, the police stations. Hospitals are supposed to have backup. But their backup fuel, I don't think they take care of it the way they should. Just something you might want to look into if you're worried about your hospital. Even then, they don't have enough to run days and days and days and days. So radio stations, they're broadcasting the news. And he said this is a huge tri-state area, maybe even a quad state. We don't know, right? But this is just a what if. And yes, it can happen. And it's likely to happen. Because they're shooting substations, they've discovered that they're very, very susceptible, right, to terrorist attacks. Ham radio allows you to talk, to communicate. If you don't talk, at least you can listen to what's going on out there on different frequencies. Ham radio uses what's known as repeater stations. repeater stations. And they don't take a ton of power, but they do tend to have solar systems, solar arrays. Some of them have generators as backups, but these repeater stations take someone's signal and they bounce it from repeater station to repeater station and get that signal around, get it out there. Ham radio allows you to listen. That becomes your news. Now, ham can be very close or it can be very far regionally. Now, a walkie-talkie gives you a mile, up to 10 miles. A CB gives you up to 100 miles in range for listening to and talking. World band radio, well, if radio stations are down, they're not going to be broadcasting on your frequencies. So ham radio is the people, you and me. Regular people who have ham radios that are very good with it, very competent. They can talk, they can listen, they can communicate, they can share information and pass it along. How many substations are down? Right? How bad is the situation? How broad is the situation? How far is the situation? How many days is it going to take to fix all of this? Having ham radio, right, is incredibly important. You don't have to be able to broadcast to benefit from it. You can just listen. It is your news, right? And the other one, something as simple as this, right? An AM, FM, world broadcast, weather broadcast radio, right? Emergency radio, right? Shortwave radio, right? What's important? Weather and news, right? Now, are you going to be getting a bunch of propaganda? More than likely. But ham radio is better yet. You're going to get propaganda coming from people who sound like you, normal humans. Is it necessarily all propaganda? No. But as we sit here and talk today, you and I, what do we learn? You learn that you need to decide for yourself what is important and what isn't. In your world, what applies and what doesn't. What matters to you? If you're down south, if you're up north, and there it is. Thank you, Jolene. We have, folks, a series of radios, walkie-talkies, CBs, ham equipment, etc. at thepreparedmind.club. It's important, and it's not overly expensive to get this. You only have to buy it once. Make sure you have batteries, and why not have a couple of solar panels, a little Jackery battery solar system, so you can charge that up and keep your ham radio or your CB or your world radio charged. Keep your phone charged up. Because what can you have on there? Well, all kinds of stuff. First aid, medical news, equipment, right? Having that stored on your phone. What drugs or, shall we say, antibiotics go to what? I keep a book, right? I have a antibiotic and drug guide. But we've got a lot of stuff here. Thank you, Jolene. Yes, Jackery Solar. Having a solar system. Now, there's one other thing that's coming out. If you remember a couple of years ago, I started talking about growing sprouts, right? Food. Power down, right? Everything is down. How are you going to get fresh veggies? There's another company that Jolene is working with to step up our own personal food supply in a very compact, very powerful, very unique system. So I want to wait until I get some more news from these people, and then we'll be promoting that as well. You want to be prepared, right? You want to use something that works, something that's tested. Ham radio, thank you, Will. Ham radio works. It's been tested for decades. Works like a fucking champ. Solar panels and batteries works like a champ. Being prepared works like a champ when things get nasty. And boy, do they get nasty. I mean, shit. You want to go downtown? You're going to get thrown on the tracks or beaten up on a subway. You want to go downtown? You're going to get shot up by crazed lunatics at, literally lunatics at the Lunar Festival. You want to go downtown? You can get in a fucking riot with Antifa. Unbelievable what's going on. Well, hell, you can't even escape it if you're in Hawaii. You think you can just leave the world behind? Well, sorry. a Russian spy ship was spotted off the coast of Hawaii. Now, here's the deal, folks. The Russian ship, I believe, has to maintain the legal distance, and I'm sure they did. But they were off the coast of Hawaii, probably the 25 or 50 mile minimum. But yeah, they're going to be there. Russia has stepped up its game as promised. And they've said essentially over the weekend that they will attack everybody and anybody should they see fit. Anyone who has supported Ukraine, given them bombs, missiles, rockets, etc., and they're now using those bombs, rockets, and missiles on the Russians. And now the Russians are promising everyone. They're promising everyone retribution. And now a Russian spy ship is off the coast of Hawaii. Now, Hawaii really isn't that important of a state. It's not that important of a state. Well, except for Pearl Harbor, securing the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, it actually is very important as a state, as a military location. And so I'll just ask you this question. If there's a spy ship there, what's he doing? He's listening. And guess what missiles that this spy ship more than likely has on board? It doesn't matter, folks, whether this ship is 25, 50, or 100 miles offshore. Hypersonic missiles will get from that ship to whatever the target is in absolutely zero time flat. Traveling at 5,000 miles per hour, I imagine that is about a 30-second missile launch. From the time it's launched, before it's even fully detected, there'll be impact. I would not want to be on Oahu if they light it up. Remember Pearl Harbor? Unbelievable. Okay, Jolene, what do we want to do next? What do we got happening? What's shaking? We have Crazy Uncle. He's checking in. Hey, dude, how you been? Where you been? Good to see you're back with a $5 super chat donation. He says, prepping has seasons, and it's maple syrup season. It's early this year. One of the healthiest sugars you can eat. FYI, it's like honey, and it doesn't spoil. If you're fortunate enough to have maple trees that grow naturally, and they can produce the maple syrup, it truly is delicious, and it is a sugar. It is. It's also maple syrup. It's like it's sap. It's essentially sap. Maple syrup is sap, but it's the tree's shall we say blood, right? But it's definitely yummy, and it's been around a long time, and like honey, it doesn't spoil. I thought maple syrup season was in the spring when it got warm. I guess maybe it's in the winter. Anyways, there it is. Thank you, Crazy Uncle, for letting us know what the hell's going on with the world of syrup. And I think a takeoff of that would be get prepared with things that don't go bad. Solar panels don't go bad. Maple syrup doesn't go bad. Rice will last you 25 years. Spam will last you, I think, 5 years. Rotate your food, folks, and keep current on your thinking. Unbelievable what is happening out there. We've passed already, folks, and I forgot to catch it and mention it, the 1 hour mark. We're at 1 hour and 15 minutes. We're going to go 2 hours. And that'll take care of it for the show tonight, unless there is a flurry of super chat questions. And again, this is your show. This is where you get a chance. You can hit that super chat button just like Crazy Uncle did. Make a donation to the Get the Fuck Back and Stay Back Fund. And I'll make you famous. We'll talk about what is going on. Now, we're living in strange times. Now, in Los Angeles, folks, there was a teenager. And he had a very light, a very small, a relatively tiny jail sentence. And what did he do? He ran over a mother and her baby. All right, well, this guy ended up dead with gunshot wounds, right, on the 83,600 block of 11th Street in LA. Talk about a big number, the 83,600 block of 11th Street, according to the sheriff's office. Sources say that he had been at a fast food restaurant trying to, quote, get with a girl, and he ended up catching some gunshot wounds. Folks, I have a funny feeling because the police and the media have not said they caught who this was, right? Who did the crime being the assassination of a murderer, right? There's going to be a lot of retribution out there as things get nasty, as things get worse. I recommend being prepared. I recommend staying and keeping your head low when shit gets bad. If we end up with these protests and riots and marches and stupid again, if the lights go out, I recommend keeping what you have quiet on the down low. We've got a lot of crazy shit going on. Unbelievable. Now, this was interesting. Earlier in the show, I talked about Florida and what's going on down there. Well, Ron DeSantis, Governor DeSantis, and the state of Florida have banned an African-American studies course. Well, Washington, D.C. has said that that is, quote, incomprehensible. Well, I say screw Washington, D.C. Right? Now, why would Florida ban African-American studies? Well, it's kind of interesting, right? Well, these African-American studies are littered with lies about the country and stuffed full of Marxist critical race theory. It's not really about African-American studies. It's about using the notion of injustice suffered by blacks during slavery to fill people's heads with ideas about their country and how much they hate it. Now, back to the White House. Karine Jean-Pierre, White House spokes idiot, said, it is not our place to direct or be involved in any school curriculum, but this is concerning. So what they're saying is it's not their place to direct or be involved in any school curriculum. Really? Joe Biden calling parents domestic terrorists because they were involved in their local school districts, in their local school boards. Okay, Karine, if it's not your place to direct or be involved in any school curriculum, then shut the fuck up. Step the fuck back and go screw yourself. Right? These people are, folks, and have been directly involved, right? And they need to be directly addressed as being communist perverts. Now, Karine Jean-Pierre continues. She says, speaking of Florida, they have banned more books in schools and libraries than almost every other state in the country. And that is correct. Florida has been banning a shit pile of books. Apparently, they're number 2 in the nation at banning books. And I say correct. Yeah. Those books that have been banned are Sexualizing Children for Pedophile Groomers and Cultural and Political Lies About America and Whites. Those lies are being eliminated by getting rid of these books. And by the way, I want to know what state is number 1. All right. Now, the Black cultural studies. I'm continuing to be confused by the need to have this, except to say that, there's a lot more in our history than just George Washington and the Pilgrims coming over. Right? There's other perspectives that we could probably learn and benefit from. The story of the Irish, the story of the Swedish, the story of the French, the story of blacks, the story of the American natives. How about the story of the Asians, the Chinese and Japanese? It's interesting though how they use the the African-American story to couch so much anti-Americanism in. Now, you can, of course, take a guess where I land on the political, social, and cultural perspective, right? I believe in freedom, equality, justice, and law of the land, as well as our Declaration of Independence, right, and the Constitution. Folks, we need to wake up and wake up now and realize that they're trying to turn everyone against everyone, right? You have Asian people shooting Asians. Right? You have the blacks attacking blacks. That's right. It's not whites attacking blacks in Chicago. It's blacks attacking blacks in Chicago. Right. And this this footage, by the way, the friend of mine in Las Vegas who's involved in, shall we say, security. We'll just use the word security. Is a very large person of color. It just cracks me up how it's, why does it matter? Until someone points it out, I don't even fucking think about it. But yeah, he's the one that said, hey, and it's 5 black cops beat up some black dude and look the fuck out. It's going to be a mess, right? When this video comes out showing it. Crazy stuff, folks, right? Justice, equal application of the law. Shit has hit the fan. Okay, Jolene, let's do a super chat donation, shall we? Who wants to be famous? It is none other than Misty Cook with a $5 super chat donation. And she writes, the life insurance actuaries know the true amount of the Jim Jones juice deaths. That's all they do for a living, life insurance amounts. Yeah, the actuaries are basically, they're very nerdish accounting tables, right? They know. It's like gambling. If you go to Vegas, they make odds, right? Hey, who's going to win the football game? Who is going to win the World Series? Who's going to win a race? They have odds on everything. And they always set the odds so that the house wins, by the way. Right? It's not like all of a sudden one day Vegas, they lost all their money. They always set the odds in their favor. They know what the odds are. What are the odds of someone having a heart attack? Well, there's going to be so many people per 100,000 or per 10,000 that are going to have heart attacks. There's going to be so many people that are diagnosed with diabetes. There's going to be so many people that have strokes. And they have these tables, actuary tables, set with this. It's broken down by gender and probably race and probably age, right? So they can see, right, statistically. And that's how they establish how much you pay for your fucking insurance. That's how much you pay for car insurance. That's how much you pay for health insurance. Because insurance companies, life insurance companies, health insurance companies, they don't want to pay out too much money. They're going to lose money. Just like Vegas, life insurance companies are guaranteed victory. They're going to win. So life insurance actuary tables, they can see this. They know what's going on. They're seeing a lot more heart attacks, are they? Seeing a lot more strokes, maybe? Yeah, how about health insurance companies? Are they seeing more patients being treated for myocarditis and pericarditis? Are they seeing more people with blood clot issues than normal? How many of these life insurance and health insurance companies are, shh, mum's the word, we're not going to say anything. We're being told by the powers that be to STFU. Oh, I'm willing to bet a lot of them are being told to shut up. Because for a while there, it was coming out. Over in England, things are coming out. Around the world, things are coming out. News, information, statistics, actuary tables. I sure wish I could get my hands on them. At one point, I knew the president of the California Blue Cross. He's an interesting fellow, but he's long since retired, and it's been years and years and years since I've seen him. But that would have been the guy that I could get a hold of. That'd be interesting to find out. But I don't think they would let that information out. Not even to me, folks. Now, let's do another super chat donation if we can. Let's rock with it. We got Will Sevey with a $5 super chat donation. He says, please give everyone a simple and fast guide to prepping. Water is number one, then food. 3 weeks worth will get you through most problems in America. Well, I always say food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan, right? Now, the reason some people put water first is that you will die of dehydration before you will die of starvation. But food, water are actually one thing, right? They're consumables, things we eat. Water can be found everywhere, but you can't drink it all. You need a life straw. You need a water purification and sanitation process. And there is equipment available on the thepreparedmind.club that does just that for you. And food, well, you can buy food. You can buy dehydrated food. You can buy food that is long-term, storable, 25 years. You can buy meat in cans. A lot of people don't realize how much meat is available in cans. Pork, beef, chicken, fish, crickets. I'm sure you can get crickets now. I can't wait till I see the prepping company going, get your long-term crickets. Unbelievable. Anyways, food and water, that's a big deal. But the thing about any prepping, Will and everyone, is that once you've done it, you're good. Then all you have to do is manage it. Water purification, water filtration systems, nothing happens. They're just water systems. Your food, like I said, rice lasts 25 years, beans last 25 years. You store it, keep the moisture out of it. Long term, you're good. Meat, no, like I said, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, just rotate your stock. It's always there. But having 3 weeks or 4 weeks worth of food will get you through most problems in our country, America. But my thought here is this. If we have a serious problem, say we have a problem with our fuel system, and it is a 3 week or a 4 week problem with fuel being shut down. Farming is very seasonal and very timely, right? You have to plant at a certain time to give the plants enough time to mature and grow and get to harvest, right? They need to fruit and get to harvest. So if there's a fuel problem, they could end up creating a food problem as well, right? Food can become very expensive. Oh yeah, we've seen a lot of that. So having food on hand guarantees that you don't have to worry about food. So if you think our lives could be interrupted for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, then you need 2 or 3 weeks worth of food. If you think our lives could be interrupted for a much longer period of time, or that our lives could be affected in such a way that you could have a week here and a week there and a week here and a week there, pretty soon you're out of food, right? Now, let's just say this. This is why I say I would like everyone to have 3 to 6 months worth of food. Imagine that food, the stores are down for 2 weeks. There's no food. And you're like, ha ha, I've got 2 weeks worth of food stored already. Well, as soon as they get more food back in the stores, you're like, I'm going to go replace my 2 weeks worth of food I just ate. Everyone else is going to be in that store buying every fucking thing on the shelf. You're not going to be able to replenish your 2 weeks of food that you just ate. Now you're down to 1 or 2 more weeks of food. What if the problem that caused that first 2 weeks to go down happens again? Let's just say Antifa says, hey, we're going to go shoot more power stations again. We really enjoyed fucking America over and screwing the people and causing all this trouble because we're a bunch of communist little shits. And they are a bunch of communist little shits. And by the way, Marines love to kill communists. It's almost like it was what they were born to do. Now, so you've got 2 weeks of food that we're eating and you're down to 1 or 2 weeks left. And then it happens again. Now you are out of food after 4 weeks of the system being down. And the food comes back and everyone rushes to the store. You do too, because you want to make sure you've got food. So it gives you a cushion, yes, for most problems. Most problems. Right? I mean, 4 weeks is a lot of food. But when we talk about serious SHTF, it's going to be more than just problems. Now, here's another thing. I know we're all supposed to be hardcore. We're all supposed to be cold and heartless preppers, right? When the stores are closed, there's no food coming, the trucks are done, there's no fuel. We're supposed to tell everyone else to fuck off. Get out of here, right? Get away from my bunker. But you're going to probably help friends and family with some of your food because they didn't prep, because they didn't listen, because they didn't pay attention, because they didn't give a shit, because they laughed at you. Now they're back at your door. Hey, Will. Hey, Sally Sue. Hey, Billy Bob. Hey, Jim Joe. Right? Just need a little food to get by. How much of your food are you going to give away, Will? Right? If you know that you're only going to need a month's worth of food, but you've got 3 months worth of food, you can help some people out. Yeah, they were assholes. Yeah, they laughed at you. Yeah, they didn't listen. They didn't pay attention. They didn't believe you. I think they would then, huh? Now, of course, I may have somebody, if I got to go up to the hatch and open it up, I'd say, well, before I give you a fucking cup of rice, you're going to kiss my ass and tell me how right I am and that you will never, ever, ever doubt me again. And then you'll do exactly as I fucking say. And when the store's open and everyone's all good again, you will store 3 months worth of food in your own house. Yes, John. Okay, good. Here's your cup of rice. Now get the fuck out of my face. Anyways, I know that sounds rude and mean, doesn't it? Bad John. Oh, my goodness. Absolutely crazy. Before we go to the next super chat donation, right? The Swedish climate brat, Greta Thunberg. She started criticizing the Davos douches. She said, quote, who are mostly fueling the destruction of the planet because they're prioritizing their greed and their corporate greed and their personal greed. There's something really wrong with this little brat. Right? She's biting the hand that feeds her. That's usually what happens with rabid dogs, is they don't care who feeds them. They're just going to start biting everyone they can. That would be Gretchen, the little climate Grinch. All right, Jolene, who do we have next in Super Chats? Who wants to be famous? Who wants to step up? It is none other than Crazy Uncle with a $5 Super Chat donation. And he's got his prepper tip. And he said, now is the time to prep for the spring season. You know, stroke season. New chicks and gardens take a lot of preparation to guarantee a decent yield. I agree, right? If you want to have 6 chickens, you better get 12. One of them or two will end up being roosters, and then you'll probably lose a few. Get your chicks all ready. Get your stuff set up. And gardens take a lot of prep to guarantee a decent yield. Yeah, there's problems with gardens. That's why we really worked on developing and finding a company that produced the sprouts. They don't take sunlight. No, they don't. Not a lot. They don't take a lot of heat, but you can get a lot of nutrition. And additionally, we're coming up with another gardening system that is very portable, very compact, and all you need is, well, you'll find out when we get there. But guaranteeing a decent yield, that is a trick. There's never a guarantee, and that's why being prepared ahead of time is the way to go. I still believe you should have a good supply of powdered vegetables, right? They take kale. They take all these vitamins, vitamin-packed plants, and they dry them and they grind them up and they put them in jars, tubs. Having your vegetables ready to go, right? Freeze-dried, canned, powdered, right? And then, of course, your ability to make your own, having your own chickens, having your own eggs. Chickens is eggs, and chickens are meat. And chickens eat bugs, so you don't have to. You just turn your chickens loose, free range. They go out and eat everything. They eat grass, bugs, stick, whatever. Chickens are amazing. You just want to protect them from, vigilantes. All right, let's move on. Jolene, who do we have next? I know I don't want to run out of time before we run out of people, and there's none other than Steve Bishop with a 25-06 super chat donation. He says, Semper Fi, John, and I say Semper Fi to you, Steve. He says, based on what we saw during the Jim Jones juice lockdowns, where do you see the top 3 least tyrannical places a person can live to be as free as possible? No Canada, no Australia, or New Zealand. Now, Canada was locked down worse than anywhere in the United States. I wouldn't dare send anyone to Canada, nor Australia, and certainly not New Zealand, where they had that Jacinda Ardern. I tell you, folks, I talked to the Aussie, that friend of mine I met, and he's born in New Zealand, and he called her a C-U-N-T. First he spelled it, and then he just said it flat out. They're dangerous, folks, in New Zealand and Australia and Canada. Now, the United States isn't much better. The only thing that makes it better is the fact that every state has its own governor. So the local culture, political attitude tends to determine how each state works. You want to know what states I like the most? You said top 3 least tyrannical places. I'm going to give you the top 3. Alabama, Florida, and Texas. Those are my picks. I like Mississippi too. I do like Louisiana a lot. Even though it's hard to believe, there are places in New Mexico that are outstanding as well. Arizona, outstanding places, just hot as fuck. That's hotter than I want. Other places that are free, I like South Dakota. I like Wyoming, but they're just too fucking cold and too windy for my taste. But they're very freedom oriented. The state of Colorado, if you like mountain living, is absolutely fan-fucking-tastic. It's the cities, folks, the high-density cities that fuck these states up. They elect shitty governors, and that affects everyone in the state. So Denver fucks up Colorado. Santa Fe and Albuquerque screw up New Mexico. Phoenix fucks up Arizona. See where I'm going with this? The state of Texas, God bless Texas, has San Antonio and Houston and Dallas, and that seems to fuck everything up, right? But Texas is still way, way, way Republican and freedom-oriented. In fact, it's more so now than it was before. Same with Florida. I do like Georgia as a state. They make some terrific peaches. Right, South Carolina and even North Carolina, I like. You know, you're getting a flavor here, folks. I like warm, but when it comes to tyranny is local. Yes, it's oriented in the state, but it's local. I was in Northern California, extreme Northern California, but Northern California actually starts, believe it or not, just over the Grapevine. Basically, they consider Bakersfield North to be Northern California. I didn't really ever consider anything south of Modesto or Sacramento to be Northern California. But extreme Northern California, from Marysville, Yuba City, north, anything north of Woodland or Sacramento, I consider to be extreme Northern California. And up there, you didn't have to wear masks. Up there, you didn't have to stay in your homes. Up there, you could tell everyone to go fuck themselves at a grocery store. Up there, you could still get kicked out of grocery stores, but you could tell them to go fuck themselves. And you wouldn't be back and shop in their stores. The people in Northern California are extremely conservative. Right? Now, that doesn't mean there aren't liberals, and fuck, they're everywhere. But they didn't have enough power, even within California, to do anything about people who said, we don't care what your lockdown rules are. We're not locking down. We don't care what your mask rules are. You're not masking us. We don't care what your rules are regarding children. We're not going to destroy our children for your political agenda to succeed. Anyway, Steve, my top 3 picks are Alabama, Florida, and Texas. I said I like Mississippi, I like Georgia, and I like Louisiana. But it just depends on the culture you like. It depends on whether you like to live in a city or not, right? If you want to live in a big city and still have really good lack of tyranny, then Florida is probably your best bet. If you want to live in Miami or Jacksonville or Orlando or Tampa or Pensacola, you're probably still going to be able to tell people to go fuck themselves, even if the mayor is a complete screaming liberal. But you know what? They do want to lock us down again. They do want to have another pandemic. They've told us so. Are you prepared? Do you have the appropriate horse medications for your horse in case we get another lockdown? Are you prepared? There's so much that is going to go wrong because they've planned for everything to go wrong. Look what they're doing to our economy. Take a look around. Look what they're doing to our power grid. Look what they're doing to our fuel, our energy. They're telling us we need electric vehicles while there's no way we can supply enough electricity to electric vehicles, nor have enough battery materials for these electric vehicles. They're completely ignoring reality and science for their agenda. That's a bad thing to happen. All right, let's do this. Jolene, who else do we have that wants to have their own word brought up? It is none other than Crazy Uncle, yet again, with his $5 super chat donation. He says, another prepper tip. Awesome. I keep hearing people can't find canned chicken anywhere, yet I see it by the pallet at Costco. Please don't be reliant on certain stores. Now, Costco is a membership store. So is Sam's Club. And I've shopped at both, and I think they're great. But the most popular canned chicken you're going to find is Swanson's canned chicken. And then there's also, of course, chicken of the sea, tuna fish, which is, chicken of the sea, Starkist, and Bumblebee. And, of course, all the store brands. Costco has very good meat products. Their tuna is albacore. Their chicken, right? And all of their products are very good. Kirkland Signature makes terrific products. Now, there is canned chicken, and it's everywhere. I have a decent supply of it, though not as much as I'd like. I have Spam, a decent supply of it, probably more than I would like. But it's that kind of a world. You have to have more than you think you're going to need, because it's hard to predict exactly how crazy it's going to get. Remember, I do agree with one thing that Greta, the climate Grinch, Thunberg, the little brat, has to say. And that's that the Davos douches are fueled and motivated by their greed. And they will destroy everyone and everything they can so that they win. Now, thank you, Crazy Uncle, again for your great tip. Something happened over the weekend, or it was reported this weekend. I want to get to it before the next super chat donation. Buzz Aldrin just got married to apparently his longtime girlfriend. And he said, quote, they're excited as eloping teenagers. What the hell, huh? My great-grandfather, Buzz, just married my grandmother, right? He is not really my great-grandfather, but his 65-year-old girlfriend, he's 93 and she's 65. Is he robbing the cradle, or is he robbing the retirement home? I just read that story and I thought, what the heck is that all about? That, however, makes more sense to me than this story. Microsoft to lay off 10,000 employees. It's part of a massive cost-cutting initiative. So, man, I mean, who else has been laying off people? I know Amazon laid off 18,000 people. Didn't Google lay off 10,000? And now Microsoft is going to lay off 10,000? Is anyone? Ooman shaking his head. Yes, 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 indeed. Okay. Or maybe, yeah. What's he resting his bottle on? All right. These layoffs are going to continue. Oh, I see a middle finger. Wonder what that's all about. Okay. Well, I tell you what, folks, nothing but love here. I want to thank you all for coming to the Prepared Mind channel show tonight, though, by the way. Anyways, Microsoft is going to lay off 10,000. Amazon laid off 18,000. Google laid off 10,000. Well, we got a lot more companies, don't we? We got Apple. We got, that's right. Twitter's already been laying off thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Who are these people? Microsoft, Google, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. How many is little Zark Zuckerberg laid off? He was laying off a bunch months and months ago. It's not looking good for all of these millennial, high-minded, self-important, self-indulgent little twits. Not to mention how many of these little fucks work for companies like FTX that are working in the crypto world. Well, see, there's actually a place for central bank digital currencies and cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, right? That people want to invest in that. They want to make a go at it. They want to give it a shot. There's an actual use for it. But if they crash the entire economy, they're going to fuck everything up. Nothing is immune. And that's kind of what cracks me up. It cracks me up how they think they're immune to it, right? Until someone hands them a pink slip and then they start screaming their heads off. Or someone like Elon Musk buys the company and they think they're going to dictate to him how the company is run. Unbelievable. Okay, where are we at, Jolene? What do we got going? Literally, what do we got going here? we got another super chat donation. Well, let's get it on. What do you guys want to talk about as we get into this crazy week? And it is none other than Will Sevey coming back saying, John, I think you need a Glenn Levitt. 18-year Glenn Levitt. I want to thank you, Will. This is like mother's milk. And I want to thank you. Oh, he says, sing out my name before this shot. My last name is CV. You're doing good work. Keep helping people. Will, I really believe, I do, 100% that I am helping people. I'm helping people wake up. I'm helping people discover that the world is not as it's presented to us as we drive down the street, as we go shopping in the stores, as we work our jobs, as we live our lives, and all of this. It's not what is really, well, what is happening is not what they're telling us is happening. So, we'll see. Oh, that just finishes on the palate. So nice. Oh, man. With a little kick there. Scottish water is my favorite. Thank you, Will, very much. And yes, I'm helping people. You're helping people. We're all in this, and we can all help one another get prepared. The more people are prepared, the fewer we have to worry about coming back at us the wrong way, with the wrong attitude. Uh-oh. Crazy stuff going on there in the world of Ooman. All right. Let's do this. Where the hell are we at with everything? Folks, MSNBC. There's a guy there. His name is Frank Figliuzzi. Frank anyways, this fucking guy's name is Frank. MSNBC's Frank says the next logical step for Biden would be consenting to the FBI searching his property. Did Trump consent to anyone searching his property, or did they get a warrant and go search the Mar-a-Lago property? Why does Biden need to consent? Well, I'll tell you what. He's had 2 weeks now, a minimum of 2 fucking weeks since it started breaking that they're going after him. 2 weeks to hide, move, or just burn all the illegal papers that are in his possession. 2 weeks to shred them, set them on fire, and mix the ashes into his compost pile. Why the hell, right, hasn't he done this? Well, he probably, you would think he has by now. And so, yeah, I guess the next logical step after burning all the evidence would be to consent to the FBI and make it all look okay. He'd be like, world, America, my dear Americans, there's been some discussion about me having illegal stuff, and so I am now consenting. I'm inviting the FBI to come to all of my offices and properties and just take a look around and see if they can find anything. He's had all of this time, and guess what? The dumb old bastard probably still has boxes and reams and boxes of top secret, confidential, eyes-only documents. Why would he want to keep those? Why has he not figured out that you don't keep information that you're not anyways? What do you think of that, right? How stupid could he be? It truly is unbelievable that he's that stupid. They're all really that stupid, folks. These Democrats, they're that stupid. They truly are. I mean, here's another one. Geraldo Rivera. That's right, Geraldo, the mustache. He went on live TV and embarrassed himself, showing everyone exactly how stupid he is. He really has no clue, folks, what the AR and the AR-15, well, what it refers to. He told everyone it refers to the automatic rifle. And no, it's actually the Armalite rifle. And the average American doesn't care what it stands for. It's a tool, and we have a right to that tool, and not government permission, but a right. Geraldo. He also has nice hair as well as the nice mustache. But really, that's how stupid these people are. It is unbelievable how stupid they are. Ron Paul, with regard to these people, they're so stupid they commit crimes. They commit crimes, impeachable offenses, high crimes and misdemeanors. Right? We've been talking about Biden and his idiocy. How about Adam Schiff? Right? Adam Shifty Schiff, Shifthead, right? Shithead Schiff. Ron Paul suggests he should be expelled from Congress. I agree. Where the hell is Kevin McCarthy on this? On impeaching Biden? And how about sanctioning, censoring, impeaching, removing, prosecuting Adam Schiff for everything that he knowingly did? Yeah, free speech is one thing, folks, but using your power and authority to harass and prosecute and persecute using government authority, that is definitely a criminal offense in my book. And it wouldn't just be Adam Schiff. It would be Nancy Pelosi for her role in the January 6th malfeasance, and then the January 6th cover-up, then the continuing crimes of holding Americans outside of their constitutional rights, and then claiming, well, you don't have, and you can get this, folks, for real. In Washington, D.C., the Washington, D.C. government claims that you don't have constitutional rights. How the fuck does that make any sense? Well, they claim, right, that because Congress exercises exclusive jurisdiction, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17, that they can make whatever rules they want, up to and including excluding your First Amendment, Second Amendment, Third Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, right, all those rights. They believe that. Now, of course, they've tried it in court, And it goes to the Supreme Court, and they said, yeah, that's right. Even in Washington, D.C., you do have rights, and the government can't just take them away from you, right? Namely, the Second Amendment, right? We had the Heller case, the McDonald case, how many other gun cases where they said, no, even in Washington, D.C., you have a right to defend yourself. Still, folks, the government doesn't care. Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, they don't give a fuck. They want to take us all the way down, folks. They want to destroy everything. Everything, right? I mean, just let me give you this example as we wrap this up. If you've got a question, get it in. But let me give you another idea of what happens, right, in Washington, D.C. with this government, right? A January 6th defendant, his name was Dominic Pezzola. He still has not seen his discovery 3 days into his trial. What's discovery? Discovery is the mandated information that the prosecutor has on you. You have to be allowed to see it so you know what their arguments are so you can properly defend yourself. Well, the U.S. D.C. government says, nope, we're not going to give you that, right? It is lawlessness, meaning they're outside the Constitution. The judge, Judge Kelly, is a scumbag. And now you compare this, right? The way this guy is being treated. He's being held for what? Trespassing on January 6th. Compare this to Biden's treatment over real crimes, like having box after box after box of secret documents, stacked on the kitchen table, behind the Corvette, right? In his office. Unbelievable. There is political persecution happening, folks. Unbelievable amounts. Jolene, what do we got out there? Who is in the house? We have Backcountry Preps. That would be Vaughn with $10. He says, hey, John, thank you for what you do, bro, and for helping spread the word about our upcoming event, February 11th, 4 p.m. Pacific, that will change a person's life. Folks, do me a big favor. Do yourself a favor. Help. Take a look at this YouTube video. This will be Vaughn, Backcountry Preps. He is going to be doing a fundraiser on February 11th at 4 p.m. Pacific. That'll be 7 p.m. Eastern time. And he's going to change a person's life. I believe, unless something has changed, that for every dollar he raises, Vaughn is going to match it. I don't know if there's a ceiling on that because he may just do too good of a job. Anyways, what he wants to do is really make a difference in someone's life. And I think Vaughn already does that in his life with the people he's around, his wife, his children, his family, his friends. Vaughn is a great American, just like all of you guys are as well. It is unbelievable what they have done to our country and how the American people have stepped up and helped their fellow countrymen out. Now, it's different for us than it is for the government. It truly is. A $1,000 match is what BCP is going to do. So awesomeness. If you can raise a couple grand to help someone, it'll change their life. I guarantee it. It'll definitely make them see America in a different light. Very fascinating stuff. Right. Our world is changing, folks. And I'm going to say this, money is really important. Money, they say, is the root of all evil. But money also, folks, is just a tool. It's a tool that we use to as a medium of exchange, right? Well, Bank of America, along with other banks, they have a problem with us being free, with us having cash. Well, Bank of America has been a thorn in my side, and many people, same with Wells Fargo and other banks. But their customers, the Bank of America customers, are now reporting money is disappearing from their accounts. And it's disappearing due to a Zelle processing issue. We need to be really careful about what's going on with these banks, with these governments, with these corporations out here. They're really going overboard. They truly are going overboard. And they're hurting us. They are. They're truly hurting us. They're hurting us as individuals. They're hurting us as a nation. And they're fine with it. They're good with it. And I'm not. I truly am not. And I hope that you see, just as I do, all the problems that they're causing. Now, we've hit the 2-hour mark. I had my Glenn Levitt, and I feel pretty good about it. And I want to thank everyone for supporting this channel, this show, to get the message out, to get people prepared. To get the people prepared, right? Where's the outrage, right, over what's going on in D.C.? Oh, the rage is all in here, right? It's all in here in my heart. It's in my head. What are we going to do? What can one person do? How bad does it have to get before everyone comes out? Now, Antifa, all you got to do is basically shoot one of their people for committing crimes, right? And they come out and they start burning and looting. See, burning doesn't fix anything, and looting doesn't fix anything. Removing government officials who are corrupt needs to be done. We're going to have some hard times trying to figure out how to get from where we're at here to where we're at in free. There's a lot of room between those 2 points. It's going to be a very bumpy and dangerous ride. I really hope that you are fully prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, having a plan. It's up to you to get it done, right? All we do on here is just talk about it. All the things that are happening that we need to be aware of and that we need to prepare because of. Godspeed to you all. Semper Fi means always faithful. Chance favors the prepared mind. Is yours. I'll see you. Whoa, what do we got there? Last second, Garbage Benny showed up with it. Looks like an Australian $20 super chat donation. Is there a question that goes with that? That's right. After the 2-hour mark, sometimes things get thrown in there at the last second. Anyways, thank you, Garbage Benny. And if you're down under, I pray for your country as well. There's a lot of great people down in New Zealand and Australia being subjected to crazy, tyrannical crap. All righty, folks. I think that was it. That's slipping one in there at the last second. We had well over 400 people live the entire show, and we're just now trickling down as we shut her down. I'll be back tomorrow, 0 dark 30. I'll see you then.